Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Here is a little bit of Cooper. Today's video is going to be another Meal Prep Monday video, so just stick around to see what I'm going to be making for meal prep. And Cooper just looked really cute when I started filming this morning, so I thought I would include him. So before we start anything, I'm going to go ahead and have my husband chop up the onions. No matter what hack I try, even wearing sunglasses, I still get teary-eyed and then eventually end up bawling my eyes out anytime I'm chopping onions, so I'm incapable of doing it and I've accepted that. So for lunches this week, I decided to make a WW friendly version of chicken noodle soup, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't super excited for this because my throat's been hurting and I don't even want to get sick. So I'm using a rotisserie chicken from the deli. You're also going to need some celery and some pasta. If you're not on WW Purple, then of course you're going to have points for pasta, but I'm using whole grain pasta for 0 points. Some carrots, 2 chicken bouillon cubes, soy sauce, which is like the secret ingredient, 2 boxes of chicken broth. I only ended up getting 1 by accident, but I just used water for the rest of it. You also want a couple bay leaves and some minced garlic. So the first thing you're going to start with is preparing your vegetables for the soup. So I'm just going to peel and cut my carrots. I cut them into small pieces. I didn't want any big pieces, being like big chunks in the soup. So I cut up 2.5 pieces of carrots. I'm not sure the proper way to say that. I cut up 2.5 whole carrots. There we go. And you can see Cooper is up on the counter with me again. And I used 4 stalks of celery, and I just cut those into bite-sized pieces too. Now that I've got everything chopped up, I'm going to go ahead and get this cooking. So I've got my pot put on a medium heat here, and I'm just going to spray it down with some extra virgin olive oil. We're adding in 1 chopped onion, and I'm saving the rest for my other recipe. And then we're going to add in our carrots and celery that we chopped up. Now you want to let these soften a little bit before you add any more of your seasonings. So just let them hang out for a second, and then we're going to go in with some of the seasoning. So we're starting with about 1.5 tablespoons of minced garlic. So you're going to throw that in, mix it up a little bit. Then I decided to add the 2 chicken bouillon cubes, especially since I forgot to get 2 boxes of chicken broth and had to use water. I definitely wanted to add those in for a little bit extra chicken flavor. And now I'm going to go ahead and pop in 2 of these bay leaves. This smelled absolutely amazing when it was cooking. I guess it was just a combination of everything, but yes, highly recommend if you want to make your house smell good and homey. And then we're going to add in our chicken broth. So hopefully you don't forget to get the second box like I did, and you can use 2 full boxes or 8 cups of chicken broth. But I ended up using 1 box of chicken broth, and then I filled it up about halfway with water and just added that instead. Once all my liquid is in there, I'm just going to pop the lid on this, let it come to a little bit of a low boil so that all those flavors can mix together. And I'm seriously not exaggerating when I say this smelled absolutely amazing in the whole entire house. So now I'm going to go ahead and weigh out 10 ounces of my rotisserie chicken. Now you guys know, most likely you already know that this has a few points in it. It's not like regular chicken breast, so you do want to track for that. So I tracked 10 ounces in the recipe, and I'll show you that once everything is done and we're packing it up. So I'm going to weigh out just 10 ounces of the chicken to add into my soup. Once you've got your chicken done, it should have been long enough for your pot to sit there and simmer a little bit. So you're going to pick out those bay leaves and get them out of there before we complete the recipe. So once you've done that, you'll go ahead and add your chicken into the pot. Now you could use, like a 0-point chicken breast if you didn't want to count points for that. Especially that might be something to consider on the other plans. But for me, I decided to do this for hopefully a little bit extra flavor, and it did turn out really good. So I think rotisserie chicken was a good choice for the dish. And I'm going to go in with about half a container, maybe a little bit less, of this whole grain pasta. And I'm breaking it in half because I didn't really care if it was the full pasta length. I have seen that normally people will use egg noodles or a shorter noodle for chicken noodle soup, and like I said, I just chose this one simply because it is 0 points. I would have had to count points for egg noodles, and I chose not to do that. And now we're going to go in with about a tablespoon of soy sauce. You could add more to taste, it's just totally up to you, but I decided to just do about a tablespoon. This really gives it the extra flavor. Then you're just going to let that cook down for a little while. Now I'm going to get started on my breakfast prep. So I'm cutting up a full package of this butterball turkey sausage, and we're just going to cut it into little pieces. This is going to be super easy crock-pot dish. Honestly, the most difficult task you have to do for this meal is just cutting the sausage. So that tells you how easy it is. We're going to take a bag of shredded hash browns and throw those into a crock pot. And then on top of that, you're going to go ahead and add your turkey sausage that you just chopped up. You can chop it up into big or small pieces, whatever you like, but I chose to do kind of small pieces so that I made sure each serving had a good amount. Then you're going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup, and then I'm adding about 3/4 a cup of 1% milk, and I'm just going to use that can to measure it out to be almost a cup and add that into the crock pot as well. Then we're going to add 1 cup of Velveeta cheese, which is about half of the package because there's 2 cups in a package. So you're just going to add that on there, mix it all together, and then you're going to close it up, set it on low for about 6 to 8 hours. Mine only took 6. While I was getting all of that together, my soup cooked down for a little while, and like I said, this smells amazing, and I did take a spoonful of it. It tastes really good as well. So I ended up with 6 servings. They were a little bit more than a cup each, which I thought was an awesome size, and that made them 2 points each. I'm sorry, I had 7 servings. And here is what it looks like on the app, just so you guys can see how everything was tracked and how the points added up. I think this is going to be a new staple for my house. Definitely a good comfort food, a great serving size for just 2 points. And then on the breakfast side of the meal prep, our crockpot dish is also done. So at the end of it, I'm going to add another half a cup of that Velveeta cheese. The original recipe actually called for 2 cups of cheese, but I decided it really wasn't needed for mine. It tasted delicious, so to save on points, I only did 1.5 cups of the Velveeta. And here is the tracking for that. This one is a little bit higher. I was able to get 8 servings though, and they were just a little under a cup, so that was still a good amount for breakfast. I plan on pairing it with some eggs or toast or something that is low points like that. So there's a look at what I meal prepped for my WW program this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you meal prepped or what you're having this week so that I can plan next week. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time.